Hey family, so we are back with another iced latte love reading. We're going to take a look at who's coming towards you in love and how you recognize your next partner. Now, I know we typically do, like, we switch up the thumbnail and we'll do this reading twice a month on occasion. But the main reason why you got the cheesecake, it's faded, right? Because it wasn't that long ago I did that one. You're getting these back to back because I think we're going to retire this for the season. Y'all know we do seasonal readings. September, if we get one, then that will be the last one. But really, I think this is the last one. So I want to give y'all one more iced latte love reading before we switch it up to one of the fall themed variations, or we just roll with the we just roll with the cheesecake because that's all year round, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and hold the thumbnail up. You can go ahead and choose. Pile number 1 is the caramel frappe. Pile number 2 is the strawberry frappe. Pile number 3 is the cinnamon roll vanilla frappe. And then pile number 4 is the mocha frappe. I'll give you a moment to make your selection. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. Now that you've selected your piles, it is important for you to know how I do these readings so that it doesn't throw you off, so you know what to expect when you get to your frappe, right? So for those of you that are new, I read and channel past, present, as well as incoming energy. I do read a polarity, which means there's a light as well as a shadow. You just have to find yourself in the lesson, in the journey. And if you're new, or if you're always here, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. Might as well. It's free. And for those of you that like a little extra, there's tons of membership videos. There's at least 50 now. We have a bunch of members first. So you would have been able to see this maybe a week ago had you tapped in with memberships. So if you're interested in that, you can take a look at the Onyx key. Join the crew as a member of the Onyx Key for exclusive members-only messages, redirections, and content. We already have a bunch of videos live with some familiar topics as well as new questions, so I'll see you on the other side of the Onyx Key. Make sure you hit the join button to go deeper down this experience with me. All right, pile number 1, my caramel frappe. We're going to take a look at who's coming towards you in love and how you'll recognize your next partner. So this is an interesting thing. It feels like a reset, like a reboot, like a starting over in some ways, so that I'm not saying it needs to be an ex, which doesn't mean that it's not your ex, right? What I'm saying though is, for some of you here, this is going to be a redo of your impression of this person and vice versa. Like, you have an expectation of this person, they have an expectation of you, but when you cross paths, you're going to realize, like, okay, this might be a romantic thing, or maybe we try this romantic thing again, right? All right, so let me see. Let me get an overview from a caramel frappe, maturing energy of Virgo. So here's the thing about this group. It's a very interesting group. And it's a group of conversations that don't. So this is the thing with you and this person. There's something that doesn't seem relevant that is, even if it doesn't make sense now or just historically didn't. The reason why I say that is because we had the maturing Virgo energy. So by Virgo season, or last Virgo season, right? You're all in different timelines. This could be someone you saw last Virgo season, regardless of when you find this. Those of you real time or even incoming, you will have met this person by the end of Virgo season, right? Whatever Virgo season is upcoming for you. Why does it keep doing that? That's a bottle of water, y'all. Like, it's like something about water, maybe a bottle of water, like. Random things are relevant here in that in the intro, for whatever reason, I randomly wanted to mention that I'm drinking kind of like a Mocha Frappe. Like I mix my green powder in it, right? So like it's funny that we're doing that, but I just finished that because I need that energy for in a little bit. And I need the nutrients that come from it as well. But for whatever reason, I wanted to tell in the intro, which I'm realizing it was for this pile, like, and I don't know why I want to tell all my business anyway. It's not really something I normally have the urge or desire to do, but this pile is calling me to do it. They're discontinuing my green powder, so like I literally just got it the other day. So if you keep picking the piles that mention my packages, that was one of the ones. I just got my last subscription of that, and then like the next day they sent me an email like they're discontinuing it. So I have to change my whole regimen. Not like the whole thing, I'm exaggerating, but like I had to switch supplements to a better one. Like I have a better stack now. But that'll happen at the end of Virgo season, right? Because yeah, I'll be done. I'm about to start that next couple of days, that last subscription to that. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? Like there's something about switching something up at the end of Virgo season, switching something up within the next month, like a cycle closing and starting something even better and more efficient. And I guess I'm using my personal experience that has nothing to do with y'all's love lives as an example. But shout out to y'all that keep getting the random synchronicities associated with like my orders and packages. Because I promise you, listening, if you're picking those piles, it probably sounds like I be on the internet ordering all kinds of things, getting all kinds of deliveries. And I genuinely don't. But it feels like it when I'm talking to y'all. So maturing energy of Virgo. So I think by the end of Virgo season, you'll have you'll be in some type of regimen, you'll be starting some type of regimen, or you will have met this person and that like it's all relevant. There's things that don't seem like they matter that do. So whatever that means, we got Pisces. Okay, I know why we're doing that. I understand where we are now. It doesn't make sense when I first start talking, and it may not make sense when you first start talking to this person. It may not make sense the next time you see this person if it's someone from your past, because it definitely didn't make sense the first time. It's not someone you would have naturally gone for. Not that you're not attracted to them, okay? It just didn't seem like something that would make sense, or doesn't seem like something that would make sense, because everything I'm talking about aligns. The random personal story where I'm telling all my business I don't normally do. The end of Virgo season, Virgo Pisces axis. So the end of Virgo season, I can tell you that right now, that cycle of North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo will have completely shut. Okay, now it's already gone. It's completely gone as far as like live in the sky right now, because we're now in the North Node of Aquarius as of July. Okay, so it's been about a month, but we have a lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces, and that's going to be August 27th or 28th. Okay. So keep an eye out for that date. And the weeks following that, for the duration of Virgo season, all of that energy will still be clearing. So something about the last couple of years, energy is clearing. So those of you that are familiar on some level with this person, the last 2 years have meant something. For those of you that haven't, the last 2 years, that whole North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo era was preparing you for this. Everything that didn't make sense then is about to start making sense, whether romantically or just random things about your life and your habits, quite literally your life and your habits, right? Because what are the odds that the random story I was called to tell y'all in the intro that I didn't, I held it, and then it made sense to tell it in pile 1, health and wellness. I'm talking about my supplement stack, right? Same vibe. Like it just feels like health and wellness will be a theme. It'll be related. It'll make sense, even if it's like a random thing or a random synchronicity that, because I'm asking how you'll recognize this person. It'll be some random health thing or random possibly supplement thing or just routine-based thing, random detail, which Virgo also rules, that shouldn't make sense but does, like Pisces vibes. Like something about everything about this connection is it shouldn't make sense, but it does. So let me keep pulling these cards. I feel like there's so much more meaning in the random stuff I was just talking about than I even have the ability to interpret for you, because it's going to be deeply personal to your experience and your relationship with this person, okay? So tell me, ooh, this is really incoming, because why I did that like that. Okay, that's it. Incoming energy of the Queen of Swords. We got a very sharp-witted feminine. And when I say sharp-witted, I mean someone that has an immense attention to detail, someone that's really smart, someone that just, they're very clever just as a person, okay? So where we're going with this, so why is this here? I have a sun. That's interesting. So where I'm going with this, okay, this actually triples down on what I was gonna start with here. And I didn't know that it was a dominant energy until this. So so here's the thing. You're about to meet your forever match, like your forever love. Like if it doesn't work out, y'all gonna be the ones that got away from each other. Not to bring it down immediately, but like that's the type of love. We got the sun to the moon and the moon to the sun. Very comfortable, very familiar energy, very home like vibes. And so that's why we have the axis of health and wellness, of common sense. Look at me, common sense versus like the ability to be creative. We have the conscious versus subconscious. We have grounded versus spirituality. We have reality versus fantasy, right? So all of those things matter because axis of your day-to-day routine and things like that. So here's what I got here. We have a feminine on the table that is very reminiscent of someone's maternal figure. Okay. So like I'm going to lean into those of you asking about masculines. We have a feminine that reminds a masculine a lot of their mother or the maternal figure that raised them. Okay. I also have, and this can be one, the other, or this can be a hybrid of situation, circumstances. The Queen of Swords actually here is not just the comparison of the feminine with the maternal figure. It is the literal maternal figure. So I got the Queen of Swords, which is a very sharp, very, I'll say strict maternal figure, to what I actually kind of saw already to be a literal sun, and the moon is maternal energy. So for those of you that are feminine and it's very important to you, because I don't know another reason why this is, or maybe it's just an identifier. I don't know. This masculine that's coming in for you, their maternal figure is going to be very fond of you. Like it's a very strict matriarchal energy like this, but this person's going to be very fond of you. They're going to see a lot of themselves in you. They're going to feel very at ease, very comfortable with the Four of Swords in you being the partner to their child, godchild, whatever, right? Because it's strict over there. I like it. I don't mind it. I say that because we like that in my family. So I can't really be judgmental if I wanted to. Yeah, it feels like the type of maternal figure that kind of needs to know exactly what type of feminine their son, godson, whoever, or the youth, the masculine that they are raising, that they are the caretaker for, kind of ends up with. Very hands-on, very particular, very nitpicky. Okay, and shout out to you. I love it. I love that you're part of the tribe, the crew, because like you got the approval of someone that is very not easy to impress. Not that other people's opinions shouldn't matter, but I know, like, especially when we talk about like certain cultures where you like respect your elders, and even where you don't, sometimes just having the respect or the approval of someone that's not easy to impress can just not necessarily give you a boost, but it lets you know you're in alignment of who you want to be, at least depending on the situation and circumstances. Okay, because that's a very clear thing here. And I guess that relationship is so big. And you know what? It makes sense, right? When we talk about, like, there are certain archetypes of masculines that are very where we talk about the mother-son dynamic, it's a thing. So for those of you where you're going to know very early on who I'm talking about, because that is a thing. All right. And I'm not judging anybody. Yeah, strong energy. Yeah, very, very strong energy. Okay. So, and we got two Leo-esque energies. I say Leo-esque, but both of those cards are ruled by Leo. The sun and strength, and letter S could be a thing, but, and maybe my attention's called that to that pattern, to the sun and strength, is like, we're talking about someone that has a lot of strength, that has a lot of promise, okay, that has a lot of patience. They're very easygoing, okay, but in them being easygoing, they're still very strong, very driven. Like, they have goals, they have a routine, they're of sound mind. I know a lot of those things should sound like it should just kind of be a given, but the world is a crazy place right now. We don't know what people are going through regularly, right? But this person seems to have it together enough. They've been privileged enough to not have a lot of the baggage that some other people in their position have. I don't know their position, but I heard the words, they don't have the baggage that other people in their position have. Okay. All right. Let me keep pulling these cards. I feel like the feminine on the table, whether you are looking for a feminine or if you are the feminine seeking the masculine, and I'm describing what makes it all great, is there's a certain sharpness, strength, a matriarchal energy that the feminine on the table embodies. I'm not saying the feminine on the table is extremely mature or old or anything like that. I'm saying the feminine on the table that everyone is pleased with. I'll say it like that. People can see the trajectory of this feminine as a matriarchal figure. So like, it's like the maternal energy surrounding that masculine that seemingly was very hands-on in raising that masculine. I'm being mindful with my words because everyone doesn't have parents, y'all. That matriarchal energy that was hands-on with this masculine genuinely sees a lot of herself in the feminine that's stepping in. Okay, so like if you are masculine seeking a feminine, you already know who your matriarchal figure is. This feminine is, that's not a trade-off. Like you're not going to end up with a feminine that clashes with your matriarchal figure. That's the opposite of what happens here. That's a telltale sign that I'm not talking about somebody specific, okay? All right, vivid dreams. We got somebody that's popping up in dreams. I'm also seeing that this person is very vividly a dream partner of yours that's incoming, which is why we have the sun and the moon and why we have so much approval regarding that matriarchal figure, whether yours or this incoming partner's. And I'm leaning towards the matriarchal figure of the masculine, okay? It is that specific because the Queen of Swords is over the sun. And even in this deck, it's very clearly a maternal figure with a sword protecting a small child. That is the little boy, right? And so, and then the moon is quite literally maternal energy in a lot of instances. So here we go. We got the freedom. And everything is all about freedom and a breath of fresh air and not having to be worried, not having to be on. Like, I feel like the entry of this feminine romantically, whether I'm talking about you or someone selecting the pile seeking a feminine, is that this feminine comes in and the energy is so easygoing, it's so authentic, it's so in alignment with what I guess this family dynamic is seeking, that the maternal energy just really backs off. So if we have a maternal energy that's usually overbearing, and I'm not judging anybody, I don't know the context of what I'm talking about or even who, if this feminine is typically overbearing or even just a worry, like worries a lot, with this new feminine coming in romantically, there's no concerns. Everybody's chilling, everybody's free, everybody's living their lives. It's a great vibe. Okay, let me get more. What's this chaotic reversal? See, I told you, I know what I'm talking about. I don't know why that's the narrative, but that's going to be the telltale sign. And it makes sense for a lot of people, but these control issues, like everybody's free, nobody's overbearing, nobody's like trying to be like on somebody. Like I feel like it's a strong vibe of being on somebody and asking a lot of questions and being in a way and getting on people's nerves. And like I said, I'm not judging anybody, okay? Because it's really not even on the table. I'm saying like where we have a feminine that's really critical, I feel like I have a matriarchal energy that is usually very, very critical of anyone. The energy of the sun brings around. And I say that because notice that the Queen of Swords is grown woman, and the moon is a grown woman. Everybody's adults. The only child on the table is the sun. So it's almost like this is a masculine that is always in this matriarchal figure's eyes, a child, even where we're talking about full grown man in a lot of instances. Okay. So to this matriarchal figure, and especially if we're talking about people that have had experience, like, because I mentioned everyone doesn't have parents, y'all. So that's why I'm wording things the way that I'm doing, because your experience is not always someone else's experience. Hold on, let me fix this. So where we're talking about someone that maybe be raising their godson, or someone that's raising their nephew, or someone that's raising their cousin's child. Like it's a lot of instances. So like typically people like that they have reason. Like someone that they got when they were a small child, like they have reason to be like really overprotective because I'm all they got, they're all I've got. You see what I'm saying? So like I'm not judging anybody on the table because I can sense the depth. And even in a lot of instances, like when we're talking about the actual mom and son, we don't know the past. You see what I'm saying? Like this could be a mother that struggled to have a child, this her pride and joy. That's why I'm funny about the way I know how y'all get mad, in the personal readings. Y'all like, I wish she would back off. I get that. But I also understand y'all not going to make me be judgmental and things that I feel like require more context. Okay. So the good news is that it doesn't even matter, because the only way it matters is if it's a shadow and you are not. Like you end up in a situation thinking that this is the next healthy love and you refuse to dodge the bullet, because this is an energy of you stepping into something where everything is peaceful. And the only reason we know that this is different, most of you, this masculine knows that you are actually their next love because of how easygoing the energy is. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not used to all this peace. I'm not used to all this agreement. I'm not used to, usually it's something to nitpick about. You really like power one, huh? Like that's the energy. So no control issues, absolute freedom. What I said, we got security, safe, secure. Everybody's happy in this instance. So let me just keep pulling cards because now it's starting to repeat. We got a love letter and hanging out. Yeah, this person's, okay, because this person is so loved, okay, like this feels like, okay, where we're talking about the masculine, this person's very, very loved, okay? They are very openly romantic. They're very in tune with their receptive side when it comes to love. So this is not somebody that's going to beat around the bush or play games. They're going to be very expressive and wanting to spend time with you. Them asking you to spend time together is going to feel very literary, very poetic. I'm not saying they're going to be super amazing with their words. I'm saying you'll be touched by the way they interact with you. Okay, you'll be touched by the way they say, hey, like this is someone that will literally out of nowhere just say they miss you without beating around the bush, right? Like they're very open with their emotions like that. They'll literally tell you they want to hang out with you and why. Okay, they'll literally tell you in detail what they want to do and why they want to experience that with you. Okay, we got a brotherhood. Okay, we got all kinds of people on the table. The friend's gonna like you. The friend's gonna love you. Look at you. I don't know why all of this matters. I feel bad if this is historical, if some of you selecting a pile, you just used to dealing with somebody where the mama didn't like you, none of the friends like you. Like, it's not funny at all. I'm so glad you're not dealing with that. If you're dealing with that, I don't support it. But here it's like the brotherhood basically saying the friends want to spend time with you all the time. Like, this is the couple where the masculine's friends are like, hey, where's pile one? And the masculine's like, I thought we were doing such and such, just us, brotherhood stuff. And they're like, no, 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 no. I'm going to bring my person. You bring pile one. We're all hanging out together. It's going to be great. It's going to be a vibe. Like, that's the energy. Everybody wants to connect with you. It's very safe. It's very stable. You're not on edge. So if you're used to not feeling safe, not being stable, always being on edge, we're talking about no. We're talking about absolutely not. Some of you have been spending the Virgo Pisces nodal axis, that time where remember I mentioned North Node of Pisces, South Node of Virgo, you've been spending that time in a connection that's the opposite of this. And that was to show you what that looks like, so that when you experience the opposite, it's like, oh, okay, I see. Okay. I mean, that's it. Let me pull from Melon Pop. I'm gonna get you one from that, and then I'll get you some advice. There's really nothing else to talk about beyond whatever this is. Okay, so I'll see what these two say and get your advice. We got the Desert, clarity, honesty, survival, wisdom, and self-discovery. Clear, no confusion. Not saying there aren't any disagreements, not saying everything's perfect, but clear. Okay, and this person will be clear that they're planning a future with you. They'll be like, this is someone that will be clear in, it's part of that love letter and hanging out. This is someone that will bring you around their friends. This is someone that will more specifically bring you around like their married friends, to set a tone, to set the tone of like, this is where we're headed, because any ambiguity lets you know you're not in this, okay? Because I mentioned telling you exactly what they want to do with you and why. They'll literally say, hey, I want to hang, I got my brother or, my friend that I want us to go spend some time with, because I want us to like see how they maneuver their relationship, things like that. Okay. Very, very transparent about the future and incorporating you in their future. Like, again, Virgo rules 6th house of your day-to-day, making sure that you know they're integrating you into their day-to-day, making sure you know that long-term they're seeing you in their day-to-day. Okay, especially since we have this transactional relationships thing. Now, I'll just read the lighter expression of that. Transactional relationships are very organized, they're very clean, they're very clear. We know who does what, when, where, and why, and how. So that exists in this dynamic. The shadow is not a shadow of the pile. It is an energy of, there's this deep fear, okay, on one or both sides, where the feminine here is deeply concerned about being perceived as someone seeking a transactional relationships, which is the archetype of the gold digger here. We have this deep fear of the masculine, and it's not just the masculine, it's the masculine's friends, close fraternal people, whoever. Y'all know how I read this card by now. If you don't, this is the brotherhood card, so anything that could align with that energy when we talk about masculines and their relationships. And then we have a feminine with a sword, which is that matriarchal energy that we also see in the moon. We got a lot of security. Okay, this person's very deep. This person's very protected. And so I don't know if this person has a history of just choosing the wrong partners, or if this person is just this sweet little masculine, like still in that really youthful, naive energy, to where everybody's like, okay, we got to watch you. Again, I know what I'm talking about. I see it outside in real life. So there's this fear on the relationship side of this person that this is something that they're trying to make sure that no one's predatory towards this sun energy. Okay. And so in them making sure of that, not only do they agree with the feminine coming in is feeling like the moon to the sun. You see what I'm saying? Because the concern is this, I guess. All right, so I'm not going to keep repeating the same message because I feel like the cards are going to bring it out again. So I'll just go ahead and get your advice. I mean, that's basically it. Those are going to be the telltale signs, and they're big, broad signs, by the way. Big, broad signs. So we have sweet celebration of achievement, joy, and receiving. Don't downplay what you've done. Celebrate now. Joy multiplies your rewards. And first light is awakening, renewal, action. Morning always comes, even after the longest night. Take the first step. Momentum will meet you. I'm only going to mention this because I've said it every day that I've been doing readings since this card's been coming out. Early morning, late evening, not the afternoon. You'll either spend most of your time with this person, or that's going to be your monumental connecting, like where you cross paths, where you get this person's number, whatever the context is. I'll say this is a group, you are in your first light, like you're in an awakening, right? You are stepping into an era where things are going really well for you. I don't care what the history says. Do not downplay what you've done. You are important. You are special. You're doing good. Yeah, I'm doing the whole thing, right? But you should celebrate all that you've achieved, even if it's just surviving things, even if it's just establishing security. Like, it's time for you to celebrate and enjoy things. This is going to be how you meet this person. This is going to be how you cross paths with this person. It might be a literal celebration of something. I know this. Whatever you're doing, whoever you've become for yourself, or just by nature of having to navigate your experiences, especially my feminines, not saying y'all get special treatment, but by nature of this pile, think of it this way. This masculine that you're wondering who's coming in, the masculine that surfaced, is very protected from family, friends, has good people around them in a way that they're very particular, and they're not easily impressed, but they're impressed with you. I'm not saying other people's opinions matter, but for this group, it feels like you sell yourself short. And I'm telling you now, no reason to be doing that, okay, when you're ending up in this relationship here, okay? Because not just anybody can connect with this particular masculine. These people are very particular, and I don't know the reason why. Like, let them be how they are, because I don't know the full context, okay? Now, my masculine selecting this pile, just know that, especially where the dominant energy of like how I'm reading the masculine ends up being you and your dynamic with your family, think about what that means about how right maybe your friends, maternal figure, whoever are, because looks like you're getting someone that makes sense, okay? But you have to be willing to lean into something that makes sense for that to happen, all right? Okay, so I'm going to close y'all out and move along to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2, my strawberry frappe. We're going to take a look at who's coming towards you in love and how you'll recognize your next partner. Okay, so let me get an overview so we can see what's going on. Some of you, here's the thing. It's a really interesting thing. So what came through just now is that day-to-day with this person, and I'm not talking about this card yet. So day-to-day with this person feels like vacation. I know that sounds odd, like an odd way to put it, but it just, I don't know what the vibe is. I don't know what y'all do day-to-day. I don't know what y'all jobs are like. I really don't know anything about y'all's lifestyle, but stepping into this person's world, I'll say this, will feel like I'm hearing the word resort. Like, it feels like you're like kind of at a resort. I'm not saying it's going to be this extreme always on vacation vibe, but just something about it feels like that to you. Okay. So the cardinal energy, we have the beginning of seasons, right? So any beginning of season, maybe when you cross paths with this person, when you realize this is your person, and that's going to be the beginning of spring, summer, fall, winter. So Aries season, Cancer season, Libra season, Capricorn season. Okay. This person could have some dominant placements in cardinal energy, but just know the spark that is going to come will come very loud. So let me see more context to what that means. We got Capricorn. Capricorn season might be a thing. That might be the stabilizing of it all. Letter C is a thing. The thing about this person is they feel like an old soul. They're much more mature than their actual age, which is interesting. Okay. They feel very energetic, like they have a lot of energy. Despite all of this energy, they feel very mature in interacting with them. So my examples of this are the two polarities of like a younger person that is truly younger, energetic, like in their youth, but also their mind is much more evolved than their age. Okay, I'm not talking super duper young. I'm talking about age appropriate gaps for those of you. And even where I'm not talking about gaps, like you meet somebody that's your age, but like they feel so much older because either their experiences or just the way they think. And then the opposite would be someone of a more advanced age, but they got energy. They look a lot younger. They move a lot younger. Like something about they don't feel that age on paper. You only realize it when you really interact with them and you see their views and their thought processes and things like that. Okay, so that's a dynamic. One can be this person, one can be you, or it's just, I could just be describing this person, okay? So let me keep pulling these cards because there's something here that's very descriptive. Tell me more about what's going on. My strawberry frappe. Okay, death. Where are we transitioning? What are we changing? I can already see where we're going with this. This is that pile. It's not a new vibe. Yeah, somebody that's completely switching it up because of love. So here's the thing. Your experience is not other people's experiences. I feel like I've said this in a pile before. Where did I say that? Where did I say that? I'm going to put it in y'all's notes. We're doing redirections and additional messages, and I'll put it in y'all's notes, okay? So, because this is someone that's completely switching up their ways that they engage in love, like participate in love, I guess you want to say it like that, due to leaning into a connection with you because they see you as like a harvest, as an inheritance. That is the spark. That is the maturity. That is kind of the karmic lesson, karmic nature. I feel like I'm reading a pile I've read before. Why am I saying your experience is not the experiences of others? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, some of you, this person did not treat previous partners well. And y'all know I don't support that, especially where we're talking about y'all asking about these masculines, like I'm a girl's girl. But the reality is there are unique situations and circumstances that are not the majority, which is why your experience is not the experience of others. Something about this specific masculine you're going to end up with, they're very different with you than pre-you, okay? And I'm not saying that you are the differentiator inherently so much as it's the timing of when this masculine seems to want to settle down. It's the timing of when this masculine is serious about love. And also, this masculine has a very specific archetype that they've already told themselves they would settle down for. And it feels like crossing paths with you. You're that archetype. And I say this often, I hate sounding like I'm giving anyone a pass for historical behaviors or anything like that, because I'm just channeling the energy, and the only way I can do that is if I'm not trying to judge it as I'm reading it. We can always give y'all advice after, but this is a masculine that would do whatever they want to do, right? When they're single or perceive themselves as being single or not serious. And they would do all of that knowing consciously at the back of their mind, I'm going to settle down at this stage of life or when I meet this archetype of a feminine. And then boom, one or both happen at the same time and y'all rolling, okay? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, this is actually a lot of the feminine selecting this pile would initially reject this masculine. Maybe did historically at some point, because it's not a masculine anyone with discernment would actively look for, okay? Which is why we have the Seven of Pentacles of the harvest. Now, Harvest talks about planting seeds. Like literally when we talk about Capricorn season, that's way past the harvest, where someone finally gives in. It's like, okay, you're planting seeds, you're nurturing the garden. Okay, it's time to harvest. You don't really trust the harvest. You wait until other people tasted some of the crops, make sure it's not poison, make sure it's not like, make sure it's good crops. Okay, boom. We wait at the end of the crops. We got the last of the crops. Okay, good. Let me try it now. Everybody else was the guinea pig. That's what it feels like. Okay. And that's literally the context of the cards and the symbolism here we have. So tell me more. Like it's literally someone changing for somebody. And like, I don't know that this person is changing so much as they already knew what it would take for them to just behave differently. Like there's no change in necessarily personality or evolution in personality so much as this person already knows what they want. So they just do whatever until they get what they want, which I'm not saying I approve of. I'm just saying that's the context. I'm even hearing like that really old song I haven't heard since I was like real young. The Keisha Cole song. Like I'm hearing the lyric like I've changed for you. Like that's what I'm hearing. And I don't normally channel music like that in these readings anymore. And I don't even know why. I have not been doing that. So I have the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man talks about surrender. When you find someone you want to surrender to, and that's also an ode to the masculine surrendering to the feminine in a way that all of their best qualities can kind of be shown. Because I'm not saying the worst qualities of this masculine are in display prior to you, but they really have they just have like a lack of concern, like not a lack of sense of urgency, just not really that worried about anything or anyone. It's more selfish than anything. So you should be reprehensive. You will be reprehensive because you're a normal, well-rounded person. But I'm saying your experience is not the experiences of others, because remember, Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn, which is Lord Karma. And it feels like this is a karmic lesson for many people with the Seven of Pentacles on the table. Whether this person, for you, and maybe someone or multiple people historical prior to you. We got the sexual healing card. I think the funny part about it is I'm naming things that are going to immediately, that I'm naming things as identifiers that this is your next partner and that it's going to be serious, but I'm also naming things that may throw you off. This person's sensual nature. And I don't want to make this that kind of pile. I know y'all love those, but I literally stopped doing them, not for any moral reason. I'm grown, but because like YouTube changed like their guidelines and things like that. So all of the old readings y'all see, that's never coming back. Just because it's no reason for it now. And honestly, the content that we do now doesn't even align with it. So it's fine. I have no issues. I can't make this reading like those, but like this person's sensual nature and any interaction that could be intimate in nature with them is going to throw you off, because how do I word this? It will seem like practice. It'll seem like this person's familiar with maneuvering that energy in a way that throws you off. Like it's gonna feel experienced. I'll word it that way. And so any encounters, maybe your first experience with this person and in getting to know them more intimately, right? You're growing, read between the lines, that's gonna throw you off. Okay. And I don't know why. I really don't know what it's like. I don't know if this person just like that. I mean, y'all are grown. Good for you. That's not a bad thing where it's not a red flag. In this instance, it is a red flag, but not for you specifically. I know how I sound, y'all. I know how I sound. Okay. Tell me more about the strawberry frappe. I'm going to find, because I know I made notes for, I remember it vividly enough that I feel like if I have notes, I will let you know, because it's easy to find my notes. We have reconciliation. Okay. And we have higher self. if we're talking about someone, and I know we are, because the thing I kept trying to say in a way that made sense just now implies that this person is experienced enough to throw you off. So where we're talking about somebody that's really outside, the concern will be, is this person capable of monogamy? And I think what's going to throw you off second is that monogamy for this specific person, not other people like them. Other people like them are the norm. This person's apparently a little bit different. Monogamy is not an issue for this person. It seems like this person has not historically had a reason to be monogamous, whether it's because they just weren't in a relationship requiring monogamy, or if they simply were just single and living their life. There's no reason to not be living your life if you're single in this person's eyes, right? As long as they're safe and healthy, I don't see anything wrong with it either, but it just feels like there's no reason. Monogamous with who is basically the question they would ask you, right? Like if you're like, okay, so like you have trouble with monogamy, and they'd be like, well, who was I supposed to be monogamous with? I've been single. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. And it's very specific to this masculine, and it can sound manipulative, but I don't feel like that it's necessarily manipulative on the lightest end. The shadow is someone's shadow that they're not acknowledging existed. Okay, so like it's basically a theme of like this person, if you ask them honestly, like the shadow is if you ask this person honestly and they had zero shame, they'd be like, I was a horrible person. I cheated on everybody. I was like, I lied to people because I wanted them to talk to me, and I knew they wouldn't talk to me if I thought, if they didn't think I was serious about them. Like if this person was truly honest on the shadow, like the worst end of the behavior patterns, they did some weird manipulative stuff. Like they know that they were dirty. But I feel like the one red flag is that this person never wants you to know how dirty they actually were. Okay. But I also, based on what the table is telling me, not Onyx, because Onyx will tell you to run. The table says that this person, their behavior then can be separated from their behavior now. Take from that what you will. I'm going to pull from this other deck. I'm gonna even pull from Melon and Pop because I don't want to leave y'all hanging and then get your advice. But we have peace of mind. See, you'll have peace of mind with this person. There's no weird shadow manipulation real time, even if it existed historically. I'll be honest with you though. This is not y'all's ex that did y'all dirty. Okay. This is not only not y'all's ex that did y'all dirty. I don't know. I'm put this here. I got to let it be. I don't know that this is the person that would engage you with a weird overlap. I don't say that to be judgmental or to project. I'm serious. Because of this person's archetype that hit the table, their personality and the way they move hit the table, I'm not seeing enough characteristics of someone that would see you, desire you, and pursue you while engaging someone else, because the whole premise of why this person is quote unquote different is that they see you as a prize. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying they see you. This is absolutely, like those of y'all asking about masculines, this is masculine that compares women, that grade women, right? We talk about like straight couples, like they have a category of like feminines that they judge and feminines that they don't. So like they wouldn't, like the love I'm describing, they wouldn't be able to hold you up on that pedestal that I'm telling you they do if there was weird overlap. You see what I'm saying? If they were dealing with you and somebody else, if there was something casual, because in their mind, you're on a pedestal, you're above all that. And now that's the karmic lesson of people dealing with people that see them as less than. When I talk about any of this, if this person has a key ex or people they dealt with, whatever, it was more of a, why you dealing with somebody that sees you that way. That's their karmic lesson. This person's karmic lesson is you think you better than the people you see as less than. Look what happens when what you think is this pedestal steps in. Look at how they see you. And they should, because you're not better than the people you deal with, right? Not that you're better than anyone, but the point is like it's more of a mentality. And what's funny is that the feminine selecting this pile and seeing this masculine come through, y'all are disgusted. As you should be. And that's part of the kind of, I guess it's the karmic lesson for this group, not to lower standards at all. It's not about lower standards, because this isn't even a group that ends up experiencing lowered standards so much as you start seeing what's available when you're open-minded and you give people the opportunity to show you who they are versus who you think they are and grow. Basically, the feminines here that are going to experience this masculine, you have control issues and you're very biased and you're very judgmental. Onyx ain't judging you for that. Like I am not judging you for that, okay? But that would basically be your, and I'm the words karmic lesson are very strong and intense, but it's basically a lesson in you can't always take everyone at face value, right? Because we got a peace of mind, we got a power couple. But I just wanted to throw out there that I didn't want, because of the sensitive nature of this topic and this outcome, this is not the norm. Like, this is the exception. And I've gotten, because it's so much the exception. I remember the last time I did this reading, I just can't quite place it, but I will find it and it will be in those membership notes, I promise. But this is the exception, not the norm. And that's why it's like that. And that's why I'm making sure I'm letting y'all know, like, this isn't the overlap pile, because the masculine being described here would not put the feminine that they have on this weird, really biased pedestal, right? Regardless if you live up to it or not, like, you may not be the fondest of it, but like, you can't be put on this pedestal if this person feels like you've aligned yourself in any way with behaviors they associate with their casual nature. There we go. All right, I'm gonna pull one more from this deck, then I'll do the melanin pop. Okay, well, what's this power couple is a thing. Okay, so I'm not, it's not my space to move it. The person coming in, you will be like more of a power couple dynamic. Not saying y'all gonna be the super successful couple or anything like that, but what this person sees for themselves as being in a power coupling, that's what it will be. Okay. What's crazy is where this person, and you know, the masculine selecting this pile, y'all know how y'all move, because the masculine selecting this pile is the same masculine in this pile, okay? I'm just being honest. So you know how you move. You'll know when you are peace of mind for this feminine, and like that this feminine brings you peace of mind where you're not moving funny, or you lose the desire to move funny, because for the feminine selecting this pile, you want to be shocked that you kind of judge this person. Because quiet as it's kept, there's at least half of the feminines here that when you engage this person, they're going to be taking you seriously, but you're not going to be taking them seriously. And it might actually throw them off because they don't see you as the type to not take them seriously. So they're going to proceed with you seriously. And as they prove the serious nature, you may never let them know that you never took them seriously. You see what I'm saying? So because they see you they have you on this pedestal, so they couldn't possibly see you moving in a way where you're like, let me just get used to dating or getting used to being in a relationship. Like I might date this person for 6 months or whatever, but I'm not like gonna be with them beyond that. Like, you still hold up your standards. You still, if you were never outside, like if you're not a super sensual person, you're still gonna engage them in a way that they have on a pedestal. But in all, in your mind, you're like, I already know this is probably not lasting more than 6 months or whatever it is you're doing, right? Because all of you aren't doing that, but some of you, that's how you even end up in proximity with this person, and you realize you can take them seriously because they bring peace to you that they've never had with other people. It's very different dynamic. Everything maybe you've heard or saw or whatever it is, because I don't know the person. You'll have to let me know when they come in, right? Everything with them is very, very different with you, down to, and I'm not seeing that in this pile yet. Maybe. Okay, the Hanged Man and Capricorn can be where someone mentions, it's like, oh, this person's very different with you, right? And that could be what makes someone a little sad or whatever, because it's so obvious this person is different with you that there seems to be resentment, at least with someone from their past, because they're very different with you, right? So what is this? So let's see, we can get ready to close this file out. See? An apology and peace of mind. So much so that this person's like, I'll tell you what, once this person's good, stable, and comfortable, now the most shadow end of this pile, this person's never going to tell you the full magnitude of the things they did, just because you would absolutely judge them. But the things that they're comfortable sharing, they'll literally let you know, like, man, that's crazy. I'm glad that we're together. I have guilt and shame based on the way that I conducted myself with other people, the way that I treated other people, because I didn't associate them with you. It actually looks like this person evolves as a person throughout the connection, because they'll, like, at some point of y'all being serious, they'll be like, man, that's crazy. I really wish that I was not like that, right? Like, they'll have the comprehension of, like, I understand that I was waiting for you, but at the same time, I didn't have to move how I was moving before. That's the thought process. So see, there's like a redemption arc and all of the things. So let me get a couple more. We got walk away. Yeah, so just know, there's no weird overlap here. I'm not saying that to be judgmental or like uppity or anything like that, because I know sometimes y'all take certain things I say personally, but I make the distinction not to categorize y'all or to make y'all feel lesser than, but because I need you to know who you're dealing with. Okay, I really do. This is not somebody that would have overlap with you in this instance. This is somebody that would have a hard cut off. Like, they would stop dealing with anyone that there could be considered to be overlap with you because of the pedestal they have you on. I'm not saying this person's amazing, and I'm not saying that should make you feel good. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying, if you know there was some blurred lines, some weird overlap, some questionable things at the beginning, that's not this person I'm talking about, okay? Because we have a hard divorce, a hard separation, a hard ending. The death card is on the table, right? We even have somebody apologizing like, it's not going to work. I'm sorry, but I need the peace of mind to step into this completely clear with no baggage. I can't do that with weird overlap, especially because I hold power 2 on this pedestal. You see what I'm saying? Even if they have to do it in a messed up way, like ghosting somebody that they've been with for years, and I'm not saying I approve of any of this behavior. I'm just saying this is how this person here moves or historically did. Like, they have a history of being very draining towards people and then leaving them alone and cutting them off. Like, this is not someone that has issues cutting someone off. And that's probably why this is the exception and not the rule to what I'm talking about, and why this person probably won't have issues being monogamous, because the people that have issues with monogamy have issues letting go. They always want to like have their cake and eat it too. This person has no issues taking what they want and leaving somebody alone. So that's why it's different, because they meet what they consider to be the love of their life. They're not attached to these other people or person they're dealing with anyway, as sad as it sounds. So they are done. They're like, no, I don't know who that is. They'll act like they never knew that person. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is what makes it the exception, not the rule, is because they don't need what they're doing. They're just doing it because they can. I've said that multiple times. Okay. What is this? Yeah, see, this person might even be religious, arguable, debatable, whether they're in alignment with it. But there are people that are very self-righteous and things like that. That's this person's shadow, which we all have, right? We all have a shadow. This person might be a little religious, and so the way that they rank or rate people will be in context of whatever religion, right, or routine they follow. The way they perceive people should or shouldn't be in alignment with their personal morals. And so that pedestal, which is why I'm telling you that pedestal exists. You know what? I'm glad that religious card came out so y'all don't think I'm just making things up. That pedestal, what did I just say? This person wouldn't have, you fall off the pedestal once you align with where it overlap, because the overlap where you're not conscious of it means this person already categorized you, so you were never on the pedestal, right? The weird overlap where you know it exists and you were just down for it drops you down from the pedestal, even if they had you on it. Because this is also someone that would test people. Like if you down to have a weird overlap, if you down to help somebody cheat, or you down to mess with somebody that you know somebody else is messing with, even if they initially had you on the pedestal, this is exactly the archetype of masculine that would have those weird tests. You see what I'm saying? Where they're trying to see if you fall for that. And once you down for the chaos, you drop down from that pedestal, okay? So even if you were on the pedestal, the overlap drops you down, or if you ended up in the weird overlap, you could never be on the pedestal. You see what I'm saying? So that's, I'm not judging y'all. This masculine is. And I'm not talking about this masculine that you're going to end up with is, because this one that you're going to end up with is not. And that's for those of you that are trying to find someone, because I might be describing someone, because the quiet as is kept, those of you that I'm having to make sure you know this is not, I don't even know who I'm even describing, pedestal, not pedestal. This person will come in following that, whether 2-3 relationship down the line, your next relationship, and it's this next serious connection, because I think a lot of you are traumatized or become traumatized by the one that I'm making sure you know that's not who this is. And you switch up your whole behavior because maybe you're the shadow of, like, I think I mentioned somebody that person used to deal with, or I'm mentioning somebody, like you're that person's ex or that person's ex situationship or whatever. And like, they kind of did this. Because the shadow is a shadow no matter what, whether this has happened to you, the shadow has happened to you, and now you've switched over, or you're switching over and don't even realize. And like something about the way you are shifting your personal karmic lesson, I would never project that on feminines, but your personal lesson is kind of self-worth, self-value, right? It's one thing to be outside because you want to be. It's another thing to do it to impress somebody. You see what I'm saying? So grounding and stabilizing and shifting your behavior in a way where you probably end up with someone that very much reminds you of someone from your past, but you're on the opposite end of it now. I'm not saying I agree with any of this. I'm saying it's on my table. I'm going to write those notes for members. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I just don't know exactly where. I got to close out your pile because I got to go make a run and do something else. And then I'll be back. Let me see what this is. Nope, we are not taking this because this came on the other pile. No, I do need to pull another card. But yeah, y'all check y'all membership notes. I promise you, I'm going to find it because it's not hard to find it. If I'm not mistaken, by nature of the fact that it feels like I'm reading the same energy, it had to have been the same series. We're going to find it. And you will be able to see it in your notes. Path up. Okay, most of you that need advice are on the shadow. And not shadow like horrible experience. No, like you've experienced the shadow. You've been on the receiving end of the shadow. You've encountered basically the masculine here. You've experienced the shadow of that same archetype, personality type, because you got a type. You don't know you got a type, but I'm telling you, you got a type. This masculine is that's coming in is very much like the one that did whatever I'm talking about, or is doing whatever I'm talking about. And that can't wound you. And that's why you're like that when this new one steps in, because same vibe, but you basically, you're spiking up after spiking down. We talk about that, on the things that we're going to have on the website, tap in with onyxkey.com. But your path to becoming is how you end up with the type of masculine you're seeking. I think that's why this is the karmic lesson. I hate how it sounds, gender roles. I hate how overly traditional in a toxic way this pile sounds. But I think that's this pile's path, because some of you are low-key subconsciously seeking that. And because you're seeking that, you're moving in a way that you think is going to get you that. And it's a low self-worth state. Because what happens is, I notice a lot with feminines that are seeking traditional, I gotta get ready to go. Seeking traditional masculines, they're willing to do whatever for those masculines, even if it makes them look crazy. Stop that, okay? And what happens is you lose sight of yourself. This person maybe didn't respect you. Like, you get what I'm saying? The path to becoming, that's how you're going to end up there. Go to the notes, tap in with the notes. It says every step is shaping the future you dream of, and it is. Your journey is the manifestation. Tap in with the onyxkey.com, especially those of you that are new, especially if it's already live at the point of you finding this reading. It's a lot on there. What I'm saying, the side of you where I know I'm talking you out of this person, but it doesn't matter. You're going to connect with this person some way, somehow, unless you shift trajectories. And if you keep on the path that you're becoming, part of, I guess, I don't want anyone to feel superior, but the latter end of this pile has so much self-worth, so much self-value, that the masculine doesn't have any choice but to kind of bend, right? And no one changes anyone. I'm not saying that the feminine here is changing the masculine on the lighter side. I'm saying that the masculine here understands that in order to align with that type of feminine that they want and deeply desire, because they know what they want and deeply desire, it's not gonna work. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna be a no for every version of that feminine that they encounter, whether it's you or someone like you. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the same on the shadow. The shadow is the way that it is because that's the same exact archetype of feminine they've been dealing with. So we got the wisdom of the night. I do have the owl in the memberships. If you're a member, go there. That's probably a redirection, or that could be a symbol, synchronicity for this person or you, or something that connects you, or something that aligns. But the path of becoming is the wisdom of the night. If this shadow has been your experience at any point of life, that was supposed to build you into the version of you that is going to be able to discern this partner, check this partner, set boundaries with this person to where they kind of understand, like, oh, this is a real one, right? Okay, it says, in quiet, truth rises. Trust the wisdom that visits in the dark. It's guiding your way forward. This is about intuition. A lot of you are learning to trust your intuition more, even when common sense counters it. I'm not telling everybody that, because this is the pile. Y'all are making me sound crazy right now. Y'all are the exceptions to the rule, and the rules still stand. It's just that y'all might be a little overly logical or traumatized due to your past. And so your intuition sometimes, with you being the exception, not the rule, trumps what seems like common sense. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna close you out. Moving along to pile number 3. All right, pile number 3, my cinnamon roll vanilla frappe. We're gonna take a look at who's coming towards you in love and how you'll recognize your next partner. Y'all, it's been an adventure. I'm tapping in with this pile because I've already filmed your pile at least 2 days ago. I can't even remember at this point. And the energy was weird. Okay, so I left it alone. I then determined, not before any chaotic reason, there's absolutely nothing, like, consciously, there's no reason why that could not have been a public reading. Like, the pile is fine. But I just instinctually felt like that should have been a members exclusive message. I don't even remember what it says. I just felt like, no, this got to be in the Onyx key. I'm going to redo their pile. So this is why we're here. So if you're curious, if you're a member, just go check out your pile. If you're not a member and you've been wanting to check it out, definitely go see, because another reason why it matters is after I finished your pile, I moved on to pile 4. I stopped like several minutes in that pile and got a wave of fatigue, left it alone. Next day was supposed to start filming it again, right? Was supposed to redo you. I couldn't get it. Everything felt off. So this is why it matters. I got that wave instinct of, I got to do a dream reading. I'm not really wanting to do a dream reading, but I can tell we're supposed to be doing one. Plus now I'm realizing we had to lose love dream reading redirections. So I did a general dream reading on a whim for members because that was basically the context of the messages. So everything associated with the bonus pile that was originally yours, the dream reading that linked, all of the notes that kept telling people to go to dream readings, all of that is in the Onyx key. So like I said, if that's something that interests you, check it out. If not, you're fine. I just want those of you that have access to it to know that this pile has many, many layers. This is not the only thing associated with this pile. The dream reading already and the bonus pile for them in the back, okay? So I'm going to start pulling cards and I need to see what's going to come out. Hopefully, because I'm going to edit all of these together, I can see why there's a separate pile for the public side and maybe why they connect like that. So tell me what's going on with the Cinnamon Roll Vanilla Frappe. Saturn. We got feeling restricted, experience struggle, learn hard work, and patience. So Lord Karma. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember anything about anything I've already filmed. So I can't reference pile 1, 2, or even the other pile because it was quite literally 2 days ago. Okay. All right. I got fire. Oh, okay. We're talking about right now. Look at y'all. Shout out to everybody here. I don't know if you're in your Saturn return right now or if it's just real time. So it can be both, right? Like some of you are in your Saturn return right now. Others of you are just simply, Saturn is in Aries right now, okay? So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, I'm at fire signs. This transit is going to be, like you're going to meet this person during this transit, like real time within the next couple of years, okay? Because I know, because I think it was yesterday in a dream reading that I had to check something out for like the Saturn and Taurus generation. And I found out that, but I realized that the timing of that transit is spring of, because I still have the tabs open. Spring of 2028. So from now through spring of 2028, by spring of 2028, you'll have met this person. Okay. And because of the severity of like the weight that is Saturn is the glue in relationships. When we talk about synastry, Saturn is two people that are kind of committed to one another, whether the shadow is whether they want to or not, right? But it's the glue that binds us in relationships. So I think this is one of those serious long-term connections at a minimum. Okay, so where are we going with this? Tell me more. Okay, my pile number 3, my Cinnamon Roll Vanilla Frappe. See how these two did not want to go back in. So these are real serious messages. And then these 5 total, fine. We're not fighting back. Whatever this is like hardcore how you will know. Okay? Like all of this is clarifying energy or whatever, but this, like there's no questioning this. The moment you realize this, it's clear. Okay, so 3 of Swords. Okay, why is it the 3 of Swords? Okay, 3 of Cups. Okay, so what's with the number 3? What's that all about? Because like you are pile 3, and my attention is definitely called to the 3rd pile. That's why this pile got its own members exclusive. It's like the attention needed to be on pile 3 specifically. And I sprinkled in pile 4, but like pile 3 specifically, and then these 2 cards. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this is the group by nature of how this came through. And listen to what I'm saying, because it's very, very important, the timing of me filming this pile and the way that I'm doing. Like, this is a serious pile. Like, let's say you don't believe in anything I ever say. if you're genuinely called to the cinnamon roll themes or just this specific frappe, like if it's a severe coincidence, like a strange coincidence that you're here, I know what I'm talking about, because the wave of fatigue I got after filming the video a couple of days ago, like I had a way busier day today. Like I actually was genuinely fatigued, like as a normal person from like doing things earlier. And I didn't think I was going to film these piles today. But then I had me something to eat, something nutritious, very nutrient dense. And then once I sat down, had me some water, I'm like, you know what? I got a bunch of energy now. So I sat down to film your pile. So the fatigue that I had the other day was very out of the ordinary. It was very energetic. And I've gotten it before. That's another reason why I was able to determine it. But why am I so lively with so much energy now when technically I should be more tired, right? That's the point. Like I am alert. So number 3 in numerology, those of you that study numerology, is a huge deal. I don't care if it's like a birthday, like a lucky number, a random thing. Like the number 3 is a huge deal. Okay. And it's going to be related to this person, or it's going to connect you to this person. Because why? Because I was already like intrigued, because I'm like, why do we have the 3 of Swords? And then we got the 3 of Cups, and that's very polarizing energy. And this person could have very polarizing energy. They got to be very dual in nature, like 2 very distinct personality, like sides, right? Like people see them as one way, but they're another way as well. Like, because the 3 of Swords is heartbreak and pain. And then the 3 of Cups is like where we're happy, we're celebrating, we're socializing with friends. So let me say this, because there's many things coming out from just these 2 cards. I wouldn't be surprised if you meet this person or met during some type of heartbreak, where you're like going out trying to socialize with your friends more because of whatever heartbreak, or you cross paths with them as they're trying to heal from some type of heartbreak, and they're like socializing with their friends and doing things like that to get over it. Okay, that's one layer. Another layer talks about the heartbreak of maybe one of you rejects the other. Now doesn't have to be a thing. Now who told, like, you see, stuff like that is why this energy throws me off. Because how did that random candle just tilt over? It's not lit or anything, but like there's another table across the room, okay, and I don't know where the candle just decides, okay, I'm gonna tip over. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I must be hitting on something. I barely remember what I was saying. I almost feel like I've had that coffee and I have not. Okay? Because that's how energetic I feel in this pile. And that's probably going to be one of the telltale signs, is how much energy this person gives you. But I feel like there is an instance of some of you, at least, where one of you rejects the other, and it becomes a feelings hurt or detached energy to friends and lovers pipeline, where it's like one's not really interested and it hurts the other's feelings, and then later on they kind of connect and it's like a high vibe. And where are we going with this high vibe? I got the Page of Pentacles. Look at that. We have an offer. Okay, so this is 2 people spending time together after realizing they're both cool. 7 of Swords. What's that? Who's that? And then I have the Magician. You know what? I mentioned the 2 sides, the splitting of energy. I did. And then the Magician is the ultimate alchemist. The 7 of Swords, if we want to make it a positive energy, because we can. I don't have heavy shadows here. It's a very manipulative energy. It's a thief in the night. It's someone that's getting away with stealing something. So the Magician could be that vibe. And so it could just be very cunning, clever person, like someone that knows how to get their way, someone that knows how to make things go in their favor. You find that with a lot of manifestors and alchemists. It doesn't make them necessarily bad people. It's just that anything in the extremes can be a negative, right? So that would be the lighter expression. But the Magician is also that duality energy, because it's twin energy ruled by the sign of twins, Gemini, right? So we already got some spring vibes here, because this transit ends in spring, and then this is the last sign of spring. So that's some timing, some real specific stuff coming through with all of these cards. But I do think what I think, okay, so here's the thing. For those of you where the rejection story or the suspicious story lands, I promise you it's that heartbreak, distrusting energy, possibly to friends, lovers pipeline, because Page of Pentacles is where someone goes out of their way to make an offer or tries to express interest in somebody. And the Seven of Swords could be a perception of someone. It doesn't have to be an actual archetype so much as someone perceiving that person as such, right? When we talk about the duality and the twins, that is the magician energy. It could be somebody that, the one that's being perceived that way, it's like, I don't trust it. This person's coming across this way, but I can tell they have another side that I don't really trust. That's the first impression or early impressions, I feel, because Saturn implies a long game. And Saturn implies, I mentioned that by the end of Saturn in Aries, you and this person will be committed. Like, that's really kind of what it is. That's a couple of years. That transit takes a couple of years. So even if you meet this person tomorrow or you met them already, there's a minimum of 2 years for this group. Yeah. A little less than 2 years for this group of like the beginning of events to the duration of like, okay, now y'all are not as distrustful of one another, or the one that's very distrustful of one particular archetype is just, they kind of get to know this person for real and they don't see them that way because they actually got to know them. Like, that seems to be the theme. And I think this Three of Cups is the friendly energy of like really getting to know this person. If that's you that's suspicious of them, because it could be them that's suspicious of you as well. But there's that distrusting, I don't trust this person gives me sneaky vibes theme, especially where we talk about someone where those of you in the pile where all of this I'm saying is you, not just one or two halves of it. If you're healing from heartbreak, going out with friends, trying to socialize more, have fun, and then someone approaches you while you're dealing with that, you already don't trust people on a romantic level. So if this person comes across a certain way with a personality type, and there's nothing wrong with them, right? If you're leading with your trauma. I actually saw a comment earlier today was like, oh, I guess I got to be all the way healed before I find love. I'm not saying that. 9 times out of 10, if I mention the healing, I tell y'all don't have to be fully healed to find love. I'm not saying that at all. And I don't encourage you to try to heal 100% before you find love. But this exact sequence of events is exactly why you have to heal to a certain degree. I'm not saying you have to heal completely, but if you lead with your trauma, like I think I told that commenter, and like I don't have the name at the forefront of my mind because I kind of commented in passing as I was setting up for this. You can't lead with your trauma and expect to find love, because best case scenario, you're going to end up in a love that you led with your trauma and seeking. So I don't know if that's the healthiest and if that typically ends well. So if this is a healthy thing, like I'm telling you it is, and let's say you're distrusting of this person because you in trauma, right? You're very, you're being very suspicious of this person. You're projecting an energy of this person, especially if you have a type and this new person I'm talking about reminds you of the source of this heartbreak. You see what I'm saying? You start projecting that onto them and you don't know them. So, but you should be guarded because you literally in a vulnerable state, you might be healing from heartbreak. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this instance is a good example of that. So hopefully that commenter, I don't know if that commenter picked this pile based on the energy they were telling me of the pile they had picked, and I don't remember which one. This would be one of those groups for people like that with that energy. There's nothing wrong with any of you, but you don't want to be projecting your trauma on a good partner. Now you terrorizing somebody else because somebody terrorized you. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. But it exists. It's here. So where are we going with this? I got the star. Yeah, some of y'all, I've read this before, and I'm going to read it from your perspective because you can control you. I don't know this person. It's some random person that's going to come in for you. If this is you that's really suspicious of this person, it's because they're so likable. They're so friendly. And I'm not saying they don't have a dark side. I'm not saying they don't have a shadow. But like, some of you are going to perceive this person as no one's that perfect. No one's that friendly. Like, something's wrong with them. I don't trust it because someone that's moving like this, that's that conscious of how they come across the people have to have something that they're hiding. Like, that's the vibe. Okay? Because the magician in the star outside social energy is air sign energy. They're very good at the way they communicate. They're very good at their words. They're very good at manipulating their words. You're not going to catch them slipping. Even if they got a lie, the lie going to sound real good. Like, I think some of you, that's what it is. I'm not saying that all of you suspicious are completely wrong. It's someone that's very good with understanding how they come across the people. It feels like a person that's, I don't want to say just like, you find it in people that are very educated. You find it in people that come from families that like really pride themselves on education. You find it in people that, especially you find it with people that are or were raised by like lawyers and attorneys, because they know what words mean. Feels like someone that could also be media trained very, very well, knows exactly what to say when we talk about like people that are like reporters, people that are writers. Like, you're not gonna catch them saying something crazy and everything, and they always have this weird answer for everything, even if they need to dance around the question and tell you what they want you to hear versus what you're actually asking. That's this person. So I could see why, even if you weren't traumatized, that would throw you off and you would be suspicious. But I feel like the reaction, if it's you reacting to them, is a little more harsh than necessary, which is why you don't need to heal all the way, right? To find love. But you can't be so traumatized that you're a brick wall when love is literally available for you, right? So, and y'all know, Onyx does not judge y'all, because I'm not always friendly. So I'm not a person that's gonna tell y'all that like I'm better than y'all or anything crazy like that. So where are we going? We got incoming energy of long distance travel, time apart. This is someone that's good. Okay, this is why it's the long game. So this is a person where you're gonna see them, and I'm assuming that everything I just talked about is involved in the first impression, whether it's you dealing with the trauma, whether it's you being distrustful of them, whether it's both. Okay, following that time range, there'll be a gap of distance of you not really seeing this person. The reality is, most of you selecting this pile, especially if you've not met this person yet, you're not gonna think anything of it. You're gonna just be like, I don't trust that person. I don't like how polished they are. Because like, why? Because if for people that struggle, especially if you've been betrayed before, like the 3 of Swords and 7 of Swords implies, people that are that polished are red flags. I'm telling you this from experience for you, because now you can see the potential for manipulation, right? You can see the potential for getting over. Like, for you, that's a recipe for betrayal. And it absolutely is. Okay, like it can be. In this instance, it doesn't seem like that's the likely outcome. But like I said, when you're traumatized, it may seem more so likely than it actually, like, than you're able to really see, right? So there will be some time probably for the healing. Like, probably your guys like, let me move pile 3 so that they not self-sabotaging with this love that I kind of want them to lean into, because your guides are very much they'll do that. Okay, so the gap, the time apart, I don't know how long it's gonna be, because it'll likely vary. You won't see this person for some time though, and let me see what happens, because this is a interesting. Oh, okay, wow, they're gonna be interested in you the whole time you're away. I don't know the full context of what that means, but they'll be interested in you the whole time that you're away. Because the thing about it is, and remember, I could be talking about how this person reacts to you. They might be suspicious of you, especially if they're the one that's traumatized. Like, any of this can be a polarity. And I forgot to mention that because I filmed the intro days ago, but it isn't an intro, how I read and how the energy comes through. But anyway, the one that got rejected or overlooked, whatever the context is, the distance has them thinking, because it feels like a person that's used to being well liked. We got the Magician, we got the Seven of Swords, somebody that's used to manipulating everybody. They're very friendly. Everybody likes this person, especially when we have the Star. So it intrigues them a little bit. Okay, and they kind of wonder, like, so what was up with that pile 3? Like, why was the Cinnamon Roll Vanilla Frappe acting like that with me, of all people? Let me see. This is funny. So let me see if I can get a couple more. I'll put it down. Yeah, the whole time this person's like, I gotta have that pile 3. That cinnamon roll, what is that? What you have? Look, with the Cinnamon Roll Vanilla Frappe, I gotta have some of that because I'm not used to this. I'm not even, yeah, it hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm over it now. I'm more intrigued by why they acting like that with me. Okay, so whether it's you, whether it's this person, because like I said, you do not have to be passive in your story. If you're a person that leans in and pursues, you might very well, like, this person's suspicious of you for no reason. And now you're like, well, hold on, I'm kind of like intrigued. Now, I know I'm not gonna go and pursue them again because they're obviously gonna say no, but let me observe from afar. We got some letter S's. Y'all know I put it in the notes for members. I don't know if I've said it like this, but it could be any of the nouns, themes, whatever the stuff. When the letters double up like that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the person getting rejected in this instance, or overlooked, because like I said, you cross paths with this person. It doesn't have to be that you just are distrustful of them. You may simply overlook them because you're wallowing in your own trauma. Okay, that is the other side. And then some of you, it's all of them. But in that moment, this person, honestly, I don't even think there's those of you that hurt this person's feelings a little bit. And then there's those of you where this person just was taken aback because who are you to overlook me? Because this person, the people that got overlooked, they were equally as appalled because it's like, I don't know who is coming in for you, but they are used to being well liked. They are used to attention. They're not used to people just like brushing them off like they're not anybody. And I don't know that those of you that are wallowing in your trauma even intended to do that. You just simply didn't have the space to be interested in anybody. And like, I don't know if this person tried to give you subtle cues that just in your trauma, you truly just didn't have the capacity to catch. But like, this person might have taken it slightly personally. They weren't like really mad about it, but they were just like, hold on, that's different. I'm not used to that reaction. I'm not computing this response. This is foreign to me, right? Like, that's what it feels like. Especially, yeah, it feels like this is a person that fixates on you where it's you, or you fixate where it's them. Okay, I'm not gonna put any more because I don't want to make this longer than it has to be, because I got more videos than I intended to edit now. And these are extra videos that I'm editing now because of your group's energy. You're gonna marry this person though, 9 times out of 10 at a minimum. Y'all are gonna be living together, living your best lives until you're really old, okay? Because that's this energy. But it feels like somebody that's like, nah, that's going to be my spouse. That's going to be my partner. That's going to be the person I settle down with, because of the unfamiliar vibes that just radiate from your reaction to them, or vice versa. All right, so let me go ahead and get more. I'll pull from these 2 love decks and get your advice. And I think, I mean, that's basically it. We got physical touch, and it says small physical gestures such as a hug, kiss, holding hands, and intimacy are great examples. They may be your or your person's love language. So this is a person that loves physical touch. I don't know if you dodged this person's hug, their handshake. I don't know if you walked off when they tried to like greet you. Like, you know how when you're in like gatherings and like people greet each other. I don't know what you did or how, or what you're going to do where it's incoming, but it is a thing. That said, you'll recognize this person because you'll see that their love language is physical touch. And when I say physical touch, I don't mean like all aggressively sensual. I mean, like, this is someone that definitely wants to hold your hand everywhere y'all go. This is someone that just will literally lean their shoulder against yours. This is someone that will lean against you. Just, they like that physical contact. We got another we got S's, we've got P's. Okay, so far we got numerology of 3s, we've got S's, we've got P's. And where are we going with this? Give me another one, cloud 9. It says this connection feels like a dream come true. The euphoria of love will fuel this bond further as feelings deepen and love continues to grow. So y'all gonna feel really good. There's gonna be so much chemistry between you and this person. Some of y'all, that's why y'all are mad, because you're either traumatized or you just don't trust people, and it's gonna annoy you that you are stimulated, like that you have that attraction to somebody like that. That's gonna irk you. Okay, that's really, some of you, that's really what it is. Like you actually frustrated with yourself that you find this person attractive. Okay, early stages before whatever this distance is, where someone's just kind of admiring someone, and then I don't know, it feels like what is this choice and decision? See, now I gotta pull one more because that's like a random way to close this. Dream readings, the love-based ones, obviously, but that new one that cut your pile off, or should I say interrupted the whole reading and then shifted your original pile to the back. Give me one more. Right in your face. Season love. I don't normally read this as the 4 seasons, but I feel like this is the 4 seasons now, right? So something about seasons is a thing. And then season love is exactly what I said about the Saturn vibes of like the glue that holds couples together, couples that take a long time. Well, couples that are together for a very, very long time, as well as couples that take a long time to get there. It's like a slow burn, right? Boom. I love it. Literally, it came through. It said what it said. The wedding card is here. So this is 9 times out of 10 a group that will marry this person. Let me pull from this last deck, and I'll get your advice and wrap it up. It's crazy because it's such an, I don't want to say that it's uneventful. It's absolutely eventful. It's very cinematic of a narrative, but it came through so effortlessly, right? It came through so effortlessly. Yeah, you're going to notice how comfortable you are with this person, how relaxed you are with this person, how having this person near you just makes you feel really good. That's the differentiator, is you'll be happier just spending one-on-one quality time with this person than pretty much anything else. Okay, that is a maturing energy. My bad, y'all. We have communication. So here's a really weird energy. The maturing energy is the breakup. Now, there's many ways that this is layered, and I don't normally call it that, right? I usually call it like sides, but there's layers to this pile. Breakup could also be the gap, right? There's a gap. There's a period where you don't see this person, probably don't even think about this person, where you're the one that was traumatized, or whatever the context is, where the person just was a non-factor in that moment. Okay. Now remember, early on, one is a non-factor to the other, and then the other is like literally fixated. Okay. I think what happens is, it's not the traumatized side, because the traumatized is just emotionally unavailable, whether they just are mistrusting of the person or just are not open to just dating, because the whole thing is, once you are in this distress to the point where you like outside, it's not an escapism, but it's like that's the last thing you try to do, right? It just feels like it's the last thing you try to do, just to just not be doing that, the wallowing. And again, this is quite literally that as well. But I'm thinking that one of you, the one that got rejected or overlooked, kind of moves on even in their fixation, which is why they're a secret admirer, because we do have distance. Okay? I don't know what's going on, but there's distance. I don't know what the context of the distance is. It's not my business. I don't know what the secret admiring is. It's not my business. But I'm assuming y'all come back together following some sort of a breakup. I don't know what the reconnecting is, the full context of that is. Maybe this last card will give us more context. But whatever it says, see, look, y'all be cheating. But because I was about to wrap y'all up, and then your pile was like 3 more. Okay. Yeah, we got butterflies. Letter B is here. We have half faith. We have disharmony. Okay. Many things. One of you tries to date, the one that is fixated, tries to date other people. It's really not realistic for them because in their mind, they're thinking of the other one. I don't know what happens, but the whole time they kind of have faith that it's going to work out. Like when I say work out, I mean like whatever this distance is. Like, I guess I really don't know the full context of where you're going to cross paths with this person, unfortunately, because I don't get any like locations or things like that. So I'm hoping that the narrative I'm giving, because it is one of my more detailed narratives, is enough to give you the context you need, because I don't have any places or anything like that. I just got you, this person, the way you're interacting with one another, and what one of you's the one that is overlooked. I'll say their thoughts, because we have someone that's in disharmony, right? Like they're having faith and that's creating disharmony, because that is the heartbreak too. It's like, okay, man, I'm trying to connect with this person, right? I don't know why this person moved. I don't know what happened. Like that seems to be the energy. I don't know the specifics of the situation though. So in this breakup, the butterflies end up. So I'm assuming the butterflies are when that gap closes, because that gap has to close, because we're talking about who's coming towards you in love, right? If the whole story is overlooking somebody ending space, then that's not the pile at all. So we're talking about reconnecting. We're talking about butterflies. And what are we talking about? Hey, look, I didn't know that was there. Y'all watched me the whole time. I was here. Reconciliation. So reconciliation is the path to the wedding. I'm so excited. I can close you out. I have to pull in more cards. With advice, do a half a cinnamon roll vanilla frappe, please. Yes. Okay. Why is it doing that? Knowledge is currency. How did I describe this person, right? I described them as being very witty, very smart, which, the magician is ruled by the planet of intellect as well as communication, which we saw earlier, some mercurial energy. But knowledge is currency. So you got to take whatever I said. When I say knowledge is currency, I'm going to read the card in a second. Y'all set me behind. Okay, I'm exaggerating just a little bit because I like to be ahead, but the reality is, like, I was rolling, I was filming all these readings, I was having all the public runs up early for members first. There's a bunch back there still. If I can get back on track this week, I will, because I'm not quite behind yet, but I lost like 2 days of like tarot reading scheduled time to this specific energy. Like, y'all, the cinnamon roll vanilla frappe, because I already filmed you. You exist as a reading. And then you threw me off when I try, and Power 4 has to blame as well. I will talk to them as well, but like you in a way. And so you better use this knowledge that got in the way. This pile, those of you that have access to memberships, go to the other version of this pile, because I don't remember what it was talking about, because that was like 2 days ago at this point. And then go to that dream reading I filmed yesterday that I also do not remember, because it was so long. It was so long. Y'all took up so much of my time. And there, in that cinnamon roll energy is a recurring energy. And I didn't catch that it was one, because I just wasn't realizing that it was in there. But there's a bunch of recent cinnamon roll energies. There's even one coming up in members. So there's a lot of knowledge here. There's this, I put the cinnamon swirl donut, which is the cinnamon roll donut, in that dream reading. And then the members voted for their video that I still have to film for this month. So they're getting another one. The frappe frequency is coming out, and there is a cinnamon roll frappe, because I have it labeled cinnamon roll frappe, and in the parentheses it says vanilla cinnamon. So that one will be, it's not done yet, so I'm letting you know ahead of time. If you're not a member and you're looking forward to it, It's what part of your life is running on outdated frequency and how to update it. They voted for that one. That's the reading they wanted. We rolling with it. But then, yeah, like I said, knowledge is currency, whether it comes from me or somewhere else. So wisdom, growth, and opportunity. It says what you learn becomes your wealth. Invest in what lights you up. It will pay off in more ways than one. Yes, it will. And look at the sweet rewards, the light, celebration, and gifts. It says you've earned more than you've allowed yourself to enjoy. Let sweetness be part of your success. For those of you that are now in this Three of Swords vibe, you already crossing paths with this person. You probably already crossed paths with this person. Okay. You will within the next less than 2 years. Okay. And some of you needed me to give you this reading of, hey, despite how you're feeling or how you're about to feel, because I don't know the context of your life or where you are in your journey, where you are here, the going out, the celebrating, the enjoying life is where you're crossing paths with this person for sure. Okay. And I also gotta say, knowledge is currency. We have sweet rewards. We have macarons on the channel. Now, the first macaron group we ever had a few years back, it was like a marriage, macaron marriage or something like that. So wedding synchronicity. We also have the red and pink macarons are in, and the red one is red velvet. And I believe some of the pink ones are like raspberry, whatever the flavor is. Okay. They're in the Visions of Venus playlist of what are you manifesting? What are you attracting? Okay. The reason why that matters is I do recall that red velvet one specifically because I was redirecting it to something that's not real yet. Members know about it. And because of where I redirected them, it stuck with me because, again, it's not real yet. Members know about it. But it talks about your container and your ability, like what you can carry, what you can hold, and how your trauma blocks it or reduces your capacity for it and things like that. So just definitely look at that red velvet macaron, because I can actually, if this is you, if I'm narrating you with a distrustful energy and you already kind of know you're in a bit of a traumatized state, you know you're distrustful, you know the personality type I described, you already like you don't like those kind of people, or that's just you see what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of context that I'm catching that I can't sit here and keep talking about. If you know that that's more likely you, please make sure you go to that red velvet macaron, because I'm telling you, that's the message. I don't remember the specifics, but I remember that being the overlay of the trauma and the needing to work through it for the sake of being able to attract the life you want to live. And that includes love, right? Y'all asking what's coming towards you on love. All right. So I am going to close you out, moving along to pile number 4. All right, pile number 4, my Mocha Frappe. We're going to take a look at who's coming towards you in love and how you'll recognize your next partner. I got so much to talk to y'all about and it's crazy. So before I even go back to the things that I was going to originally open your pile with, I do not want to forget the crazy thing and me resetting is I got the peacock, I've got the honeybee, both index. And here's the thing, when I got them both, there's a fear, an inner fear of something. But I got partnerships here and I have a new chapter, and I got new chapter after I got that honeybee and the peacock. Okay. And so, cause see the honeybee is still here, which I'm glad I did pull that up for y'all to see because honey came through. So here's the thing about the honeybee. I saw the honeybee in passing and put it down. It's actually this honey card that even made me acknowledge honey, because I didn't realize this was honeyed devotion because it's a fairly new deck and I'm not like, I don't know the words by heart yet. So in me hurrying up, flipping that over, honey is a redirection already for this group. And the reason why it matters, this is the group of like, you say something and then it happens. Not necessarily in terms of manifestation, but you know how when I'm pulling cards and I'm talking about something and a card jumps out to reaffirm me? That happened just now off camera, and me seeing this, I'm like, okay, peacock, honeybee, this is gonna be I said peacock, bees, okay, this pile is gonna be sweet like honey. Boom. That was the timing, that was the cadence of how it happened. You see what I'm saying? And then Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the energy of like the sweetness of love and beautiful things and sweet treats and things like that, right? So I'm gonna put this here because I do want to start pulling y'all's cards in a second. But before I do, I want to make mention that I have a members exclusive version of your pile. I want to call it a fragment. It's at least several minutes long, and I was not going to post it. But like I said in the previous pile, I got the wave, I got the strong wave of fatigue, and I had to leave y'all's pile. I had to just literally stop during your pile and leave it alone. There was nothing wrong with the messages, right? Like your messages were fine, but I don't do readings when I'm fatigued like that. I actually know that that is a message for me as a reader that I'm not supposed to be reading what I'm reading right now. So like if I'm reading something prematurely, my energy will drop to get me to stop. You see what I'm saying? And so I filmed everything else outside of pile 3 so far 2 days ago at least. So if you're interested in what the first part of your reading looked like before I just decided that I was going to put it in members and give you a fresh reset, it is in there along with the members exclusive pile 3. Also, when I got that wave of fatigue, I left it alone. I was supposed to come back the next day and I couldn't get it. The energy was off until I quickly pivoted to a dream reading. I don't know if y'all have been picking those piles, probably, where I keep redirecting everybody to the dream readings, whether you are on the public side or the member side. Obviously, the members have been seeing it in their notes. You probably hear me calling it out, the dream playlist or the love dream playlist. So I did a new one for general dream readings because we needed it. It was important, and that is in there as well. Okay, so I'm going to connect everything. For those of you that are members, in your notes, you're going to see your members only pile as well as the dream reading that kind of was a side quest to this. Okay, so let me get an overview so I can see what's going on with this Mocha Frappe. It's already really great energy. And I didn't feel like your pile that I had originally was negative at all. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not members only because it was a heavy weighted pile. It's members only because it's not a full reading, and I felt called to just put it back there because there was nothing wrong with the message. You have Aries energy, independence, bravery, and passion. So beginning of spring, initiating energy. It's very much new chapter energy. So it's definitely going to be a new chapter, new era of life. We got Yang. Okay, so this person's very, very active. Okay, so if you're asking me, so I got a dominantly feminine audience. It's most of y'all here. This is this is as masculine gets. I'm not saying it's toxic. I don't believe that it is. It's just someone that doesn't hesitate in their active principle at all. Same for those of you that are seeking feminines. This is a feminine that's very in tune with their action oriented side. Okay, so Aries energy here 2 times with Yang, and the other Yang signs are Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, as well as Aquarius. Okay, so let me keep pulling because while we have all of the stimulated energy, what's going on, who's coming towards my pile. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this person might just be truly a ball of energy. Okay, a ball of energy. Who is this? Maturing energy of the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, they're very generous. Or it's a person that loves that their love language is acts of service. Okay, they love supporting people. They love helping people. They're very active in doing so. Okay, like they're very active in being supportive. Okay, very, very kind person. I love that for you. I got the left palm itching, so it's incoming money. It's someone that either has money now or has money incoming. Like, it's a person that does well. And you know what? It makes sense, because Six of Pentacles is not just someone that's supportive and helpful. It's the charitable donation card. So it's someone that does a lot of charity work and things like that. They help when they can, where they can. So I love it. You've got this very kind spirit that's coming in for you. So where we're going with this for my Mocha Frappe. Let me see. Ace of Swords. A lot of clarity. Very, very clear. Okay, there's nothing, this person does not hide. This person probably doesn't even lie very well, because they, like, in order to lie, you have to have some type of fear. Okay, this person, that's not their nature to be fearful of anything, right? I'm going to put this back, not because of the card that it is, but because I was already hesitating. And if I take that, I got to take these, and I'm not feeling it. So let me put it back and make sure the context is clear about what we're talking about here. All right, my Mocha Frappe. See, holding oneself back. Okay. The moon. Why am I doing that? I'm gonna keep pulling, because I was supposed to put the moon down, but I had an aversion to doing that. So we're gonna trust the energy of the table, y'all. So let me get, like, what, one more, I guess? What's next? There we go. Incoming energy of the Hanged Man of Surrendering. Same vibe, because the moon is also ruled by Pisces and tarot. So the star is here. So Aquarius is here twice. I could see why y'all split to different days, because house 3 and 4 are very different. I'm not saying that you need to pick both, but some of you might. But that doesn't change the way that the reading flows. I said that because similar personality types, I wouldn't be surprised if the people coming into pile 3 were friends with the people coming into pile 4. Not saying that it needs to be that way, but it feels very similar in personality. This one's a little more action oriented. This one has a lot more energy. This one also is very well liked. This one's very personable, but again, their energy is very much a spark. We have Ace of Swords, which I associate with, like, Libra energy, because I treat aces like cardinal energy. And then their element, I associate with their cardinal element. So Ace of Wands would be Aries. Ace of Swords, because it's air energy, would be Libra. That's how I treat them. So we do have the Aries Libra axis. This is someone that's very strong in their identity. They're very strong in their relationships. Their relationships are very, very important to them. How they manage their one-on-one connections in general, but also, like, monogamy is very important to this person. They're very loyal, very, very loyal. And it's funny because this person feels loud. All of them aren't. Maybe their energy is just loud. Maybe they just love loud. But some of you, this person is genuinely just loud. Like, they love attention versus just having it and things like that. That's why people like them, is that they're very energetic. The word is energetic. And you know, the crazy part about it is, like, this is random. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is old. Like, this is like my parents and them old, okay? Some Anita Baker, No One in This World vibe, right? Like, that's, I mean, I guess y'all look up the lyrics to that song. It's a very old song. Yeah, it's a very old song. So anyway, just look up the lyrics to that or whatever. That came through prominently at random. So I'm taking everything that comes through, y'all. So so let me see. What else is going on? Maybe that's how this person's gonna feel. Maybe that's how this person's gonna make you feel, and all the things. Tell me more about this Mocha Frappe, please. Who's coming towards you in love? How will you recognize your next partner? Give me space. Vampire, spice things up. Oh, okay. So here's the funny part. I don't know why this pile is so vivid. The other one was too, but it's so vivid. Let me know if I just described you. I have another archetype to hit the table, but I'm gonna treat who I've been talking about like the person. And then this new energy, I am going to say that it is you for the sake of not confusing myself and the story flowing smoothly. But remember, it's always a polarity. Find yourself in a lesson and a journey. I got this maturing energy of someone that's like, get off me, give me space, right? Time apart might be a thing. It wasn't a different pile. But we're talking about boundaries and no context. So we really have somebody that's like, okay, you got too much energy, stay over there. It's the incoming energy of a vampire. So it's someone that's kind of like, I have this very moody archetype. I would argue that it is the feminine just by nature of the cards that are coming through, but like this dark aesthetic, dark vibe. They're not low vibration, but they might be like a shadow worker. It doesn't have to be woo esoteric in any way. Some people just easygoing. Some people just moody. Some people lay low. They're low key. They're a little on the quiet side. They're not as active, and it feels like opposites attracting in this instance, because this archetype is exactly this energy I describes type. Like this is exactly what they're attracted to. Okay, which is hilarious, because like this person's funny, because this person here, even if I'm talking about you, you're funny, because this is not normally an archetype that would go for this. Not because anything's wrong. It's just that typically you will find that the average person in this energy would find someone in this energy too loud. I think it's funny, but it works in this instance, okay? It really does work in this instance. So let me see where we're going with this. Tell me more about this Mocha Frappe. See, this is like, we have somebody that's really fiery, really passionate, really romantic, really excited, like one that sings from the rooftops in love, that's really attracted to this personality that's like, okay, you too close, back up, little moody, darker aesthetic and all the thing. Like they fall head over heels for that type. Okay, so even though that type is more likely to friend zone them, it doesn't matter. What I love about this, I don't know where this relationship is going yet because I have more decks. So far, it looks like this person, where I'm talking about them over you. So far, it feels like this person having this as their type. Like this is what they're actually interested in. I don't know what they have been dating, or are dating now, but this is their type. And they've probably been getting rejected by a lot by this. They're used to this type rejecting them, even though this is what they want. And I almost have like this energetic read of like the whole reason this person's attracted to people like this is because they were supposed to end up with you, if I'm talking about you. And because they were supposed to end up with you, they keep like, they like this personality, they like this archetype, but it's not really for them so much as you are for them. You see what I'm saying? So like, that's funny. Tell me more. What's going on with this Mocha Frappe? Hey, we got Oshun. So here, you know what? This is the eerie thing. This is a heavy, divinely guided, divinely sorted pal. I do not want any of you to overreact to Oshun jumping out of the deck. Why? Because years ago, when I purchased this deck, I didn't even know she was in there. But because she's in there, she's the only intermediary, which is crazy because I actually think she's on the cover. I just don't recall her being in there. But the point is, she is the only intermediary in that deck of any religion, of any spirituality. Like if an intermediary, like if Aloha is going to come out, if an Orisha is going to come out, if an angel is going to come out, like it has to come out through this card because this is the only energy in this deck. Okay. And so I just want to lean into the fact that regardless of your religion, regardless of your intermediaries that you connect with, whether you don't have any, if you are of an Abrahamic faith that it's very monolithic for you, it don't matter. The divine support is over this connection for sure, because what were we talking about at the very beginning of your pile? We had the peacock, I had the bee, and then I said, oh, okay, peacock bee, this is going to be sweet, like honey. And I was saying that in passing, but I was already thinking of the energy of Oshun because those are already symbols associated with this specific intermediary. But again, I don't want y'all to get lost in the sauce and like overreact to the symbol of the energy associated with Oshun, because that is an overlay of the channel, because it's a lot of love readings here, right? That's an Orisha associated with love, whether self-love, romantic love, love of community, all of those apply. So that the energy of love and all of its frequencies, of fertility, of like, that's the overlay. So when we talk about love in general, any intermediary support you would have associated with love, or even where it's monolithic, and that's just like a prayer for you of love, that's this type of love that's coming in. So look at y'all, okay? But I'll say this, the one with the offer, I'm getting, and I'm not trying to make it like the gender roles, y'all, but I read the energy as it hits the table. So y'all know everyone's welcome here. Everyone has a place, space, but the more masculine associated one is definitely the dominant, right? We got Yang and Aries. I don't control that. I also have this feminine that has like possibly a more darker aesthetic or just more moody vibe. And it just really inspires this masculine. This masculine sees this energy as goddess of love energy, right? Divine feminine energy. That's another representation of this card, okay? So I'm gonna get one more, and then I'll take the bottom. Yeah, all right. Well, the soulmate is here. Someone likes to be by themselves. Probably this energy, this personality type, usually like this. But here's the thing. I think so. Okay. How will you recognize this person? That's one thing you'll have in common that doesn't make any sense to you. That's what's gonna throw you off with this person, is that the one that's really personable and expressive and outgoing, basically the extrovert, they like to be by themselves. They like to be inside. When they're outside and social, they like to be outside and social. They probably have a lot of friends, but they really like their alone time. They like to be, they're a hermit at heart. And that's probably what draws them into this personality type, because I think they realize by being attracted to this personality type, they get to control the social battery. Like if they're the more social one in the relationship, when they don't feel like being social, they don't have to be social because their partner is not social. You see what I'm saying? So the feminine here is really not I don't want to say the feminine is not friendly, because they're just, it doesn't feel like they're as loud as the masculine, right? Because you can be this and still be social and friendly. It's just that this person is very friendly. I would argue that some of you, this energy of this person, they might even play too much, or they overextend. They're way too friendly, right? I actually could see disagreements, nothing chaotic. I could see disagreements with this coupling, and I see it in real life, where this masculine is just so friendly, naively, and this feminine being like, back up, you being too friendly. And the masculine's like, well, no, such and such is really nice. I'm like helping them with the like charity and stuff. And then the feminine's like, nah, that person's attracted to you. And this person's like, no, they're just nice. And it being because this person just, they're too friendly, they too nice. And I could see it frustrating this one, okay? I could definitely see it frustrating this one. But look at the soulmates vibe, the intermediary support vibe. You both love your alone time. I like it. Tell me more. Where are we going with this Mocha Frappe, please? Incoming energy of Lover's Lane. Y'all really gonna like to be at home, which is crazy because I don't think the one in this energy sees it coming. Because this one really outside and seems really friendly, really social. Okay? I don't even know if that they're really like that. I would argue, because like I think I've used this example before, just because when you're out and you experience different people in the workplace and the career paths and things like that, like a good a good example is that this person probably works in sales or something like that. So that's literally their job. That's the type of personality they have, because that's how they make money. So they seem way more social and personable than they actually are. They're probably like this at home, which is where the compatibility comes in. Like when they're at home, their true personality comes out and they're actually more in alignment with their partner, who's just themselves all the time. You see what I'm saying? Because at home is hermit lane. Look how comfy and cozy that is, right? Exactly. So it's a thing. Okay. I like it because also you'll be each other's safe place, especially the one that's like really extroverted, because when they're tired of being extroverted, they can always come home, be comfortable, be cozy with their partner who's not going to do all that extra talking, all those questions, is not going to be bouncing off the walls and things like that. So let me see. Okay. We got a dead end. What is it about the street? Something about a street. There's a very specific street. Okay, maybe once you realize y'all are going to be more than friends or whatever, that you're compatible, but like there's heavy house home vibes, and it's Lover's Lane. It is a dead end. I think I'm going to argue, at least some of you, I'm talking about a very specific location that this person lives, okay, to identify them. Or maybe I'm calling out where you live and where you two will connect most. Because if it's your place that I'm describing, this is where y'all gonna spend most of y'all's time. If it's this person's place, this is where y'all gonna spend the most of y'all time. It's like a lane dead end. Maybe it's a really cutesy name, like a cutesy street name, like Lover's Lane. It doesn't have to be literal, y'all, but there's a dead end. Like it's like the property is like in a dead end, probably to hide away from everybody. You never know, but could be near water. I don't know. But let me pull more. Oh, that's where you're gonna get married. That's where the proposal is gonna happen for those of you that get engaged. Got it. Okay, so give me more context, I guess. 1 to 2 more so we can pull from that last deck and wrap this up. What are we doing here for this Mocha Frappe? Please, incoming energy of unexpected news. You're not going to see connecting with this person coming. It's really going to throw you off. This person likes to be in the house. I don't know what that is. I'm talking about if you are the one that's less outside and they're very personable. I'm telling you, I'm getting like salesperson vibes. I don't think this person's, I'm not saying they don't enjoy the things they do. I'm not saying they don't enjoy being extroverted, but they seem more ambivert than true extrovert. They just are really good at seeming on all the time. Like this person probably drink a lot of caffeine and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep moving and to stay upbeat, because you got to think about people that are in sales roles. Like that's how they make their living. So every interaction is an opportunity for a sale at some point, even if it's not today. It could be a connection at that's how they think. I know everybody doesn't like that. I could tell this personality wouldn't like that either. That's probably part of the initial incompatibility, and I am not judging y'all because I know myself. I'm very self-aware as well. So, but what I'm saying is when this person's out, they seem a lot more loud and extroverted than they actually are. It's going to throw you off. Finding out they're a hermit is going to throw you off. Okay, if that's you. Now, if that's them, then finding out that you're a hermit is going to throw them off, okay? Tell me more. Peace of mind. I want to come visit y'all at y'all's house. This sounds cool, easygoing. I can bring my blanket. I can come lay down. This is y'all's house. Like, I'm serious. Just introverted, Lover's Lane in a dead end. Peace of mind, relaxing. But yeah, this really active energy, I forgot to mention, head over heels immediately for emphasis on the divine feminine. I hit the table. Okay, one more. Partner, y'all are inside. Inside. We have a partnership of hermits, okay? And words of affirmation, like y'all are on the same page. Y'all speak very kindly to one another, even when you disagree. Like you're gonna constantly tell one another that you love one another. You're gonna affirm one another. You're gonna be very giving and nurturing to one another. And when one of you wants to stay inside, the other one's gonna say exactly, me too. That's hilarious. So let me go ahead and get ready to wrap y'all up. I'm gonna pull from this last deck, pull the last few cards. You'll know when this person stops getting on your nerves. Letter A might be a thing. There's gonna be a point. And I think, so Hanged Man feels like it is the surrendering card. It is the head over heels card, but it's also the let go, let God card. It's when someone stops pushing so hard and starts pulling. okay? Or stops pushing so hard and lets something come. It's like the game of cat and mouse, like let the mouse come to you. You're the mouse, okay? And so this person stops over, I guess, stimulating you. I don't know another phrase, but it just feels like this person's energy is very loud for you. Once this person is not like that, you'll notice that they annoy you less and you can lean into the attraction for them more. And for some of you, it's really because y'all like to be at peace at home. This is the group that likes to be peace at home. So you like, I can't be with a real loud partner because I'm never going to have peace at home. That's really what opens the door for the attraction. Is like you start seeing yourself being able to peacefully coexist with this person, like at home and things like that. And because you see that, you're like, you know what? I do find this person attractive. They just a little loud. They're a little much for me. And once you get past the false incompatibility, because you're talking about this person's mask, if we're being honest, because there's a reason they're like this, but their type is like that. Like you got to be more like your type than how you're acting in front of people. If that's your type, you see what I'm saying? That's really the gist with this person. I actually could see, as a person that's very good at like putting two and two together, I could see how it would be overlap with that other pile. And why some of you would pick two piles, because I could see this and that combining. Because yeah, we got quality time at home. I don't even know that this pile is gonna like formally go out and date. I'm not saying that you won't. Honestly, it's funny because those of you selecting the pile, I could tell that that's not important to you. You're not really interested in going outside and having to date. The emotional support is more important because everything is inside. Like I want to come chill at y'all house. I know y'all gonna cook something. You're gonna fix me something to drink. Put me a good show on. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's honestly the joke, all jokes aside, that's gonna be what y'all's double dates are like. That's gonna be like what it's like when y'all have friends over, because the friends are gonna know, okay, no, we're just gonna go to the Mocha Frappe's house because it's not gonna be loud over there. It's not gonna be all that noise. Right? That's what it feels like. So yeah, incoming energy of magnetic souls, which is that attraction I talked about. And I will get one more. Did I mention I don't know that I mentioned the initials in this pile. I know I did in the last pile, so I don't remember because I think we have the P's here. Okay, we have the M's here as well. For those of you where it's a thing, okay? All right, I've got main attraction. M's wanted to be seen. They want to be seen. They want to be seen. And I have security. So, yeah. Butterflies. So any of the pretty insects that people gawk at and favor, like the sweet little bees, the butterflies and things like that. Safe, stable, comfortable. So safe and stable and comfortable that other people want to come to y'all's house, like Onyx. Right? Because it's not a lot of noise over there. It's very cozy. It's very peaceful. It's very quiet. The person that's overly extroverted in public cannot be like that at home, and all of the things. So let me, don't forget one of your redirections is the honey. Okay. Spark of wonder. I am actually going to keep it because Aries energy is spark, okay? It is. And that honey came through 2 times. Letter H is now on the table. It's a lot of that. I don't know where y'all going, who y'all with, okay? Like I said, it could be any of the nouns, but a spark of wonder talks about curiosity, manifestation, and magic. It says your joy is magnetic. When you approach life with awe, even the impossible begins to manifest. And then the map of possibility talks about expansion, vision, and planning. Your heart is the truest compass. Follow what excites you, and the world will open up in ways you can't yet imagine. You're going to be surprised by this love because it's not a love you're expecting, especially if the dominant side I read from, that perspective of like you being more this and them being like that, like it's going to catch you off guard. You're not going to be expecting that personality type to be what you end up with, because I think sometimes we forget that people are not a monolith, even though we know that we are not. So like the multifaceted nature of this individual is going to throw you off, because the way they carry themselves, the way that they project themselves out to the world, and where they're working and their friends, it's nothing like what they're like in an intimate relationship. And so you will be intrigued by this person early on once you realize you're interested, just by nature of you being thrown off by the fact that, oh, you just act like that in front of people. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I almost wanted to pull more. I didn't really want the power to end. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. Okay. I really do have to close it out because there's nothing else going on. What I'll do is, because I was trying to pull from this deck, I don't know why. I'm gonna see what comes out. I knew that was gonna come out. I didn't even get to finish my statement. So where is the box? I wish I had the box for y'all. If I thought it was easily accessible, I would grab it. But you know what? I believe I have this deck linked in the shopping. If not, then I'll find like a random one on Etsy and link it for the shopping. That way you know, because this is the cover of this deck. So what I was literally going to say, the bee is here and it wouldn't go away, the honeybee. And now I have the crown honeybee, queen bee, because it has a crown here. And I knew it wanted to come out of this deck to support that. So that's 3 references to honey on the table. Okay, you literally have Oshun on the table. You have, we had all of the references at the beginning. So again, I know that there's at least a handful of you that do work with Oshun. So don't let me throw you off. I'm saying y'all are not the only ones here. There are other people here that may work with Venus or Aphrodite or Uzuli. Like, there's a lot of different religions and intermediary support here. But it would be more in alignment with the intermediary of love. And again, not just romantic love, but love of family, of community, of your friends and all of the things, right? We have the ladybug of good luck. Confidence will lead to good luck. But I mean, all of the insects that everybody loves. Okay, so we have butterflies, we have honeybees, and we have ladybugs. All of those butterflies, all of those, okay? But I'm shocked. I wish I had the box nearby. I'm looking around to see if it's like at the top. No, it means it's in the table, so we're not getting it, right? So just take my word for it or don't. You can even look up the deck if I'm being honest. So, okay, so I am going to close you out with a wonderful way to close out the pile. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel.